Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back, wxninjaa. Thanks for stopping by. Let's take a look at the old hurricane that we've been watching all day yesterday and today as well. Hurricane Dorian. There she is right there, weakening a bit. Looks like it went to an eye wall replacement. You can see this southwestern side of the eye wall. It's getting pretty ragged in there. So this thing is weakening a little bit. Right now it's stationary. These poor people in Northern Bahama Islands are just getting hammered hour after hour after hour. It's only moved about 120 miles. 120 miles an hour. I'm sorry, it's gone 120 miles in the last 3 days, I believe it was. So very, very slow hurricane. Not moving very fast at all. When you get those wind speeds, moving at 5 miles an hour, and then 3, and then 2, and then 1, and now it's stationary. It's basically not moving at all, maybe a wobble left or right. But as you can see, those outer bands still hitting Florida coast. So get prepared if you're in Florida. If this thing goes north now, I think it'll be okay. But if it skirts off a little northwest or northwest, you'll get hit a little bit. Let's take a few other maps here. So here's the latest as of 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. There it is. Still pretty strong storms over here, but 145 mile an hour, 940 millibars, and it's basically stationary. This hurricane is going to remember for a long, long time for this, for what it's doing in the Bahamas. It's just absolute destruction down there. Yeah, just a horrible situation for all the people down there. It's not good. I saw some video earlier, and it was just things were just destroyed. I mean, it looked like, if you've ever seen tornado damage, that's what it looked like. Just those strong winds. Then you get in the rain, and you get the storm surge. It's just incredible. Let's look at a couple other things here. The wind field. Freeport is offline, obviously. That's why it's not reporting. But you can see, this buoy way over here is getting 29. This Nassau is getting 26. So, nothing yet. Too severe going on the coast, but as these showers come in and they start to get stronger, you can see how the radar just all of a sudden picks them up. It obviously can only pick up so much, but as these are getting closer to the radar beam, it's showing them. So the rain's going to start to turn more steady here along the eastern seaboard of Florida, and that's just going to increase flooding chances. We'll go down to this map because this is updated. So now you can see that hurricane watch. It's all the way up in the Carolinas now. Last time it was down here, down Brunswick. Now it's gone through Georgia and into the Southern Carolina. So hurricane warning all the way from just about West Palm Beach almost to Jacksonville. So just be prepared if you're in this area. Get out. Just go to your west, basically, is the best thing I can tell you. I think there was one more map on here I wanted to show you. So this is projected path. You can see it's just slow mover, but it is weakening. 125, 120, 110, and then 90, and then 85 as it goes up. Boy, this sure could impact the Carolinas in a big, big way. It sure could make landfall over here around Charleston. It's just going to depend. Now that it's stopped, we got to see. We got to see where it's going to go from here. We got to see if it's going to get caught up in this or not. Is it going to get caught up in this right here? The backside of this ridge, is it going to get caught up in that and just start to speed up and go off and eject off into the northeast? If not, and it just meanders up this coastline, that's going to be the worst scenario because it'll stay over water. Don't think it'll strengthen, obviously, but it is going to do some damage. So I was just going to check some local stations here before I move on. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything's reporting anything too. I mean, there's an 11. But this will start to pick up. There's another tornado warm storm. How's this goes on? I mean, you can see this big rain field right here. See how close it gets to the coast. she's getting closer. So when the eye wall replacement happened, which is typical in a hurricane, when they happen out over the ocean, you'll see the hurricane get a little weak and the little eye wall will fill in a little bit, and then a new eye wall will form, and it'll make the hurricane even stronger once it reforms and starts to rebuild, because it's out there over those warm waters churning. This one did an eye wall replacement. It looks like somewhere over in here. Not sure exactly where. But when it did it, the eye almost doubled in size. So what that means is it's getting weaker, because it's not tight and symmetrical. It's getting wider. So bigger, it makes the storm a little bit bigger, but it makes it weaker too. And we can see that here, you know. Let's look at the other image. I don't think they have theirs updated. Let me just make sure. 940 and 145. Yeah, they have a 938 and 150. Oh, because it hasn't updated yet. So 940 and 145 is what it's at right now. So you can see, I mean, shoot, it was at 916. You know, and even lower. I think 910 millibar was the lowest it hit with 185 mile an hour winds. So we're down now to 145 and 940. So it is weakening, which is good news. That's what you want to hear, especially when you're doing it. I mean, still look at the back of this, the east and southeast side. It's got a beautiful system there, just cranking along. But very, very powerful and very damaging. So we'll see. Again, if you look, you can see some of the upper level flows going, you know, kind of southwest. You've got some breaking off and ejecting off into the northeast. I'm guessing this is catching onto that backside of that high, and that's why it's starting to take off. It's just different layers of the atmosphere, what the wind is doing, and waiting for Hurricane Dorian to get, you know, sucked up into the backside of that high pressure system, and not just sit here and spin and spin and spin. If this thing just stays stationary for days and days and days, that's the worst case possible. It will just destroy this island. There'll be nothing left. I mean, it'll just basically flood the whole thing out as it pushes more and more water over it. Excuse me. But as of right now, the people down there are making it through, but they're still in it. I mean, it's not over. You can see Freetown right there is just getting hammered. They're right on the southern edge of the eye wall. The good thing about where they're at is, and Freeport, this seems to be the weaker side right here. You don't see many yellows. You see the open, raggedy looking eye just right outside that inner eye wall there. So that's good. A lot to the north and a lot to the south, unfortunately. So, you know, bottom line is it's still not a good situation for them. You're kind of splitting hairs talking about like that. Here it is on the infrared loop here. A lot of storms Caribbean down there. There's the one in the Gulf. Looks like it's not going to do anything. This one's supposed to dissipate. 30% chance on this one. Here's the Big Daddy back here with an 80% chance. And then we'll see. We should know by tomorrow this time what they're gonna add this to their discussion, I'm sure, because right now they doesn't have anything. So there's the Gulf. Oh, this one went up 60% chance. Sorry. Concentrated since last night. So even though it doesn't look as well, it's become more concentrated. Because surface circulation has also become better defined. Tropical depression lake formed 2 to 3 days. So what that tells me is, again, we don't have the best view of it right here, but I thought that would zoom in. Anyways, even though you can't see it in the higher cloud tops, at the surface, they're saying a low pressure system is starting to develop and getting stronger. That's what you need to get this tropical development going. So, you know, the water's still warm over here in the Gulf of Mexico. So if you live anywhere in the Gulf, just keep an eye on that. I don't think it's going to be a big wind producer, but rain, I mean, it's not really moving. You know, it's kind of like Dorian, just kind of meandering. So it could produce a lot of rain in a hurry. West or west-southwestward toward the ghost of Mexico. So it's going to sounds like it's going to hit more of possibly southern Texas and Mexico. If it goes west-southwest, it'll be all Mexico, maybe Central America. If not, it'll be Texas, southern Texas. But you never know. These things do all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, this is the Big Daddy. 80% chance in the next couple of days it's going to develop into a cyclone. So just keep an eye out. I just want to read. Better find tropical depression generally northwestward across the eastern tropical Atlantic. So northwestward, it may not even affect. I don't know what direction it's moving. They don't do that yet, but it could just slowly meander and get over to here. If it gets over to here, usually these aren't going to hit the land. They're going to go back out. If it gets down in here, this is the danger zone, depending on the upper level winds and whatnot. So we'll keep a close eye on that. Again, I have all the information for evacuations: Florida, Georgia, Carolinas, Red Cross information, information on the FEMA app, just all the stuff you need to get prepared. If you live anywhere along the East Coast, all the way up to Virginia, just get out of the way, please, because this thing is coming. I know it's getting weaker, but it's still going to throw a lot of water and wind, and we don't know how close it's going to get to the coast. It may make a impact landfall up there in the Carolinas. You don't know. You don't know yet, so don't mess around with this thing. Just get out of its way, and you'll be safe. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. And like I say, if you have any questions or if you want to know what's going on, just go ahead and subscribe. As soon as you subscribe, you hit the bell icon. Then the moment I upload a video, it will let you know, and you can just tune in and watch. So I appreciate all your love and support. Thanks for checking me out, guys. I'm just trying to help people out, trying to give them a little bit of layman's term on this stuff, and keep everyone safe. All right, we'll talk to you later. Take care.